Yeah, and I think we've talked about it before that look, the brain's just trying to predict what's out there, and we're searching for good information. And as part of that process of if light is moving across the back of the eye, your brain needs to make sense of where that movement of that image comes from. Did it come from an eye movement? Did it come from something moving in the environment? Did it come from a body movement? And we were discussing off camera earlier that there's this great video of a bird of prey where it's able to hold its head still while its body moves around it. And it just shows how much the body needs the brain needs to coordinate what's going on in the rest of the body, even just to hold a visual image that is stable in that kind of situation. And as much as we don't have that kind of level of finesse or control like a bird of prey, that still fits for most animals, that we need to integrate all those movement sensors. Now, you know, the humans have large, heavy heads on our shoulders. And so, whiplash injuries, concussions, brain injuries, have a great impact on some of these proprioceptive information centers, where we get information about head and eye movements, in our midbrains right here as well. And so those other sensors being damaged, or at least the interruption between the connection between vision and those centers can really make people feel disorientated. So you get things like vertigo and dizziness that can be created by specific damage to various things, but also just the ability of those things to talk to each other. I've even had an personal experience of having some neck tightness that resulted in double vision. There was nothing wrong with my binocular vision, but it just goes to show that, if you're not getting the right messages from the rest of your body, your visual system doesn't know what to do with it. And so it just shows the interconnectedness of it all. And we're working closely with physiotherapists and other professionals because of that loss of connection and talking between the various systems, where we're trying to get those things reconnected or rebuilt, rehabilitated.
Right. Yeah, that video of the bird of prey, that's on your Facebook page. That's where I saw it as well. And it is amazing how that bird's head is just like perfectly still, even though its body's, being buffeted in the air currents. And I think I may have mentioned when I was younger, I used to play cricket a bit. I had a very brief and mixed career at the Helensvale Cricket Club, which we don't need to go into. Um, but one of the things that the coach has always said is like, if you're batting in particular, you've got a ball coming towards you at 140, 150 kilometers an hour. You've got to, and the secret is to keep your head perfectly still and just track the ball with your eyes. And it seems like all the best players are very good at doing that.
Yeah, look, I'm an archer, and so I think there's a level too where you've got to learn not to overthink it, and we often talk about, is it better to have one eye open or just only one eye open, or both eyes open? And I'm in the group that says both eyes open, because you need to be judging space and you need to be allowing the peripheral vision, your more reactive part of your visual system, to kind of be there. I think a big part of sport is that lots of practice means that you're letting the brain kind of react to various experiences. And I think that's the critical headspace very good athletes get into, is that they stop thinking about what they're doing and just let the sort of the fast thinking part sort of take over, get out of the way. I think that's the biggest issue with, I was talking about it something the other day, that sometimes some of the best coaches are the ones who aren't necessarily athletes to begin with, because they overthink. They can analyze and look at stuff, but you can't be over analytical if you're the athlete. You've got to stop thinking sometimes. But yeah, very important to have yourself set up so that you can take advantage of as much as possible. And I know in cricket, it's head straight, head eyes level. You want to be front on so that you're taking best advantage of having that full visual field and the two eyes working together as good as possible.